Oh boy, do I have a rumor for you. This one is great, and it's being backed up by a lot of outlets, but we're going to go to my trusted source, of course. We're going to check out That Park Place in an article that John F. Trent wrote just a couple of days ago. There's a huge rumor about Marvel, and nobody can push it aside, at least not yet. And I would like to believe it's true, and as you probably saw from the thumbnail, I have an expectation that it might be true to some extent, but not completely, because we've heard rumors like this before, not just about Marvel. But things are definitely changing inside the studios from television all the way to film. We've had a lot of layoffs, but let's not bury the lead much longer. Here's a rumor. Marvel Studios cleaned house and fired activist producers. Well, I can believe that. Something in the neighborhood of 14 to 18. I've heard huge numbers. This is remarkable. We know for sure that a couple of people were let go that may have been pushing a lot of this garbage. But that rumor is out there, and it seems to be, I don't know, just fierce. It's vengeful, and it's sticking around. The latest threat actually comes from Film Threat founder Chris Gore during an appearance on Critical Drinker's channel. And if anybody would know, it would be Chris. Now, he stated, "I do know people who work at Marvel. They have cleaned house. They quietly, months ago, fired all the producers that could be labeled activists." Wow, that's good. He continued, "Unlike Lucasfilm is lost. They're lost. They are doubling down on all the nonsense. You will never get anything good out of Lucasfilm and Star Wars. That's it." That's pretty definitive. In contrast, he said that Kevin Feige recognizes he said that we tried it, it didn't work. He's talking about Phase 4. It didn't work. No Kang, none of the side characters that don't have the legacy classic characters. And if Deadpool and Wolverine proves anything, you've heard the phrase male and pale is stale that is spoken aloud across studios. But if you look at the box office this year, I would say male and pale is money. And I think Chris is right. And that's the phrase that I think people should more adopt. And I believe that they will. Gore also noted, additionally, they fired people that don't know the comics, but it's going to be a sea change that will take years. And of course it will. We don't even think that the Fantastic Four is going to be very good. That's why they're announcing this now. We know we screwed up and failed, but look at what's coming. So we're going to get 2 bad movies and 2 bad TV shows and maybe a good Fantastic Four film. Now, Chris has a different perspective on this than I do. I have no positive vibes about this film, and we'll have to see how that works out for us. But Marvel Studios did make a huge change at the end of last year on its television show side. The Hollywood Reporter's Boris Kitt shared that the company was revamping its development process. Showrunners will write pilots and show bibles. Wow, you mean like a regular show? The days of Marvel shooting an entire series from She-Hulk to Secret Invasion and then looking at what's working and what's not are done. Good. It costs too much money and you end up with very poor results for, well, the entire stretch. Marvel's head of streaming, television, and animation is Brad Winderbaum. He informed Kit, "We're trying to marry Marvel culture with the traditional television culture." Well, it worked before at Netflix. Maybe try to do that again. He added, "We need executives that are dedicated to this medium, that are going to focus on streaming, focus on television, because they are 2 different forms." Not exactly. Not exactly. But in April, Kit and Aaron Couch at The Hollywood Reporter noted that Marvel Studios was hit with some layoffs. Around 15 people, including junior-level employees in production and development, were laid off. I wonder if they had anything to do with story. More recently, Kevin Feige's admitted that characters introduced in Phase 4 were unlikely to show up in the company's upcoming Avengers films. I rarely speak in absolutes like that, right? The notion of never seeing somebody again. We've got Tim Blake Nelson in a movie coming up next year, right? So I never talk in absolutes like that. But the truth is, we're going to tell a story in these Avengers movies, and there won't be room for 100,000 characters in it. So choices will have to be made, that's for sure. But that doesn't mean you won't ever see anybody ever again. That's an interesting perspective. Perhaps you should have thought of that before you killed off your most popular heroes. So he also told Inverse that he was unlikely that Eternals would get a sequel. Thank goodness. What a terrible waste of money. There are no immediate plans for Eternals 2. However, he did note that Marvel does plan to reference the events that took place in the film moving forward. Well, you're still going to confuse people because nobody saw it and nobody cares. There are, I think you've seen maybe in a trailer we've released recently, an acknowledgement of some of those events. Certain giant things came out of the ocean. Well, yeah, and it looks dumb to this day. And you should have solved that problem with maybe, I don't know, something that was akin to the snap. I don't know. As far as employees who do not know comics being excised from the company, it's unclear how accurate this claim is, given that Jack Schaefer is a showrunner of the upcoming Agatha All Along series, and she's notorious for being clueless about Marvel's source material. She infamously told Inverse in 2019, "I'm not interested in adhering to comic canon that is discriminatory in any way or that violates my values system." Lady, we're not here for your values. In fact, that's what we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to get back to the source material. Anyway, this story does go on for a little bit, and John did a great job with it, so if you do get a chance, check it out over on That Park Place. I'm sure he would appreciate it, and I would also, since I do a lot of work with them. I mean, you're familiar with That Game Place, right? Well, as I've said, we've got the opportunity for this to be something that's truthful, the opportunity for them to get the wrong people out of an environment that they don't belong in, and an opportunity to maybe be free of woke garbage in 2 to 3 years. I don't know. Do you think this rumor should be given any credit? Do you believe this? I think coming from Chris, it seems rather reasonable, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments section down below. We've got a lot of things to talk about here, and whether or not we might get something good in Fantastic Four. We know we're going to get 2 bad movies, and we know we're going to get 2 bad shows. You think it'll stop there? You think they can stop the bleeding? I'm not certain, and I'm still not sold on RDJ as Dr. Doom. How about you? On that note, double check down below to make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube keeps unsubscribing people from my glorious channel, so turn that little red button to gray if it is not subscribed, and I will appreciate it oh so very much. Also, check out my website, beachpunk.com. That's right, we've upgraded. Check out beachpunk.com to get any type of gear that you could be looking for any time of year. We've got summer stuff, we've got winter stuff, we've got in-between stuff. We even have water bottles and tennis shoes for ladies and sandals and you name it. Not only that, we've got a whole lot of hats, and new hats are coming all the time. And check out comicsdivision.com as well, because he's got his own store over there, and they're selling some pretty interesting gear. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.